Hello and welcome to She Rises. This is a podcast for Christian women who love God and want their hearts and homes shaped by truth and not just good intentions. In this series, we've been walking through faith in real motherhood, learning how to remain anchored in silence, steady in setbacks, and courageous when stepping into something new. Today, we're going to close this series by talking about something both practical and deeply spiritual: decluttering. I'm Johanne Hewlett, and I'm so glad you're here today. Now, there are seasons in motherhood when life does not feel chaotic exactly, but it feels crowded. Schedules are full, cupboards are full, conversations are unfinished, mental lists stack up. You move from one responsibility to the next without much margin to think. And even if nothing is technically wrong, there is a sense that something important is being crowded out. Clutter is not always mess. Often it's simply excess. Too many commitments, too many opinions, too much advice, too many expectations, both from others and yourself. And when life is crowded, clarity becomes difficult. Spiritual clutter is more subtle than physical clutter. It often takes the form of noise. Noise from comparison, noise from social media, noise from the constant stream of advice about how to parent, how to educate, how to discipline, how to succeed. Noise from the internal critic that replays yesterday's mistakes. When noise accumulates, discernment weakens. It becomes harder to hear what is actually from God and what is simply cultural urgency. Decluttering spiritually does not mean withdrawing from responsibility. It means creating space for truth to settle. That may involve limiting inputs for a season. It may involve returning to one simple passage of scripture rather than consuming 10 different teachings. It may involve sitting quietly before speaking or reacting. Space is not laziness, it is intentionality. Practical clutter affects the soul more than we admit. A perpetually disordered environment can quietly increase tension. Constant visual distraction competes for mental energy. Unfinished tasks linger at the edge of awareness. Decluttering, practically, is not about achieving aesthetic perfection. Sometimes it is, but it is about removing what no longer serves your season. And that may mean releasing commitments that were right for a previous year, but are misaligned now. It may mean simplifying routines so that your home supports steadiness rather than strain. It may mean clearing a physical space so that it becomes a place of prayer or reading rather than storage. When your environment aligns with your values, peace becomes more accessible. Spiritual and practical clutter often feed one another. When your schedule is overloaded, your prayer life feels rushed. When your mind is saturated with input, your home feels harder to manage. And when your space is disordered, your thoughts feel scattered. This is not about blaming yourself for mess. It's about recognizing that stewardship of space and stewardship of thought are connected. God is not honored by exhaustion masquerading as faithfulness. Sometimes the most obedient thing you can do is remove something. Decluttering requires discernment. Not everything minimal is holy. The goal is not emptiness, it is alignment. Ask yourself gently, what is filling my life that no longer aligns with where God is leading me? What conversation, commitment, or habit is crowding out steadiness? What physical environment might need simplifying so that it serves peace rather than stress? You don't need to overhaul your life in a weekend. Decluttering doesn't need to be dramatic. It's often a quiet series of decisions that create margin, and margin is where wisdom breathes. Now, there have been seasons when I realised I was holding on to commitments that no longer reflected my priorities. Letting them go felt uncomfortable at first, almost irresponsible. Yet once space was created, clarity returned, decisions became simpler, my responses became calmer. Likewise, there have been times when clearing a physical space in my home did more than just tidy a room. It settled something internally. Order externally can support order internally when it's pursued thoughtfully rather than obsessively. Decluttering is not about control, it's about stewardship. If you sense that your life feels crowded mentally, emotionally, practically, then Rise and Restore is designed to help you realign gently and deliberately. We walk through identity, thought patterns, rhythms, and practical reinforcement so that what fills your days reflects what matters most. If this series has stirred something in you and you're ready to move from awareness to alignment, I would love to invite you to join the course. You can use the code podcast for 25% off, and you'll find all the details in the show notes. Steadiness grows where space is protected. This week's gentle nudge is this. Choose one area, spiritual or practical, and remove one thing that's crowding it out. It may be an unnecessary commitment. It might be a digital input. For me, it's a Facebook app I've deleted. It may be a drawer or a corner or a mental habit. You're not chasing minimalism, you're creating margin. So this concludes our Faith in Real Motherhood series. As we move forward, we begin strengthening discernment and anchoring ourselves more deliberately in truth. Until next time, walk faithfully, rest deeply, and keep rising steadily.